Okay, good morning. So we're up to Siman Reish Pei Aleph. Says the Mechaber, Ein lishches v'lecho levatcha nachnu moedchim. When you're davening on Shabbos morning and you come to the words lecho levatcha nachnu moedim, she'ein lishches elav b'mkomis she'omer chachomim. You shouldn't bow down because you only bow down at places where Chazal say, for example in Shemona Esra and other places. Says the Ramah, big question. What time does shul start on Shabbos morning? Should you start earlier, later than during the week? Says the Ramah, "V'nagin sheb'Shabbos ma'achrin yoseh lav lebeis hakneses mibachol." The minhag is you come to shul, you start shul later on Shabbos than you do during the week. Now, why is that? Mishum de betomid shel yemos hachol nema ba'boiker. Because when it comes to the common tomid of weekdays, it says ba'boiker. Ve'etzel Shabbos nemar uv'yom haShabbos. To mashma ichur. The other day it says boiker, which is mashma earlier. On Shabbos it says uv'yom haShabbos, which suggests slightly later, and therefore the minhag is to start later on Shabbos. It's interesting in the note in the back. Where is it? He says, let me get this. This is number 1, which is on page 18. He brings V'atam shemachrim b'Shabbos kohen haTomid. So the question is why? So good. So on Shabbos morning it says of Yom HaShabbos, not ba'boiker. So you do a bit later. But why does it say that? So he brings in footnote number 1 on page 18 at the back. Hatam shemachrim b'Shabbos says kohen haTomid, Kosovo ha'maril, and the Bach shehu kadei shelo levat l'sheila shachris sheyesh ba'onik Shabbos. The reason is the Torah says b'Yom HaShabbos, not ba'boiker, so that a person can sleep a little bit later on Shabbos morning because that's part of Onik Shabbos. So it's not stum because the Korbanah said. The question is why the Korbanah said. So both the Maharil and the Bach say that the Torah wants you to sleep in a little bit more on Shabbos. Now that's all. It doesn't have to be getting up 2 hours later. I remember in yeshiva that during the week I can't remember exactly, but Shachris was at 7 o'clock and Shachris on Shabbos morning was at 7:15. Right, so you can be Chaim Shena b'Shabbos Tanik. So it's all. I guess every little helps, right? As the advert goes. V'nagin continues the Ramah in Reish Pei Aleph. V'nagin laharbes b'zmiras Shabbos. The Pezukei de Zimra on Shabbos morning is that much longer. We are marbe. Kol makom lefi minhagah. Every place according to their custom. V'chol davar im lo amru ein machzirna. So if you don't say Pezukei de Zimra, the extra bits on Shabbos morning, you do not have to go back. However, apart from one, if you didn't say lokela sheshavas, then machazirin also. One should be marich with Pezukei de Zimra and saying the extra parts of the Shabbos davening, and to do it pleasantly. And you shouldn't protest for those who are, going slowly and adding Pezukei de Zimra. He's saying, look, you're adding so much of it. You're saying Pezukei de Zimra so slowly. It's Bittul Torah. I could be learning in this time. That's not a good protest, and we ignore him because it's appropriate to be na'am in bezmiras and to be ma'arich. However, don't overdo it. That you should eat before the 6th hour, and you shouldn't be eating too late in the day because it'll come in Siman Reish Pei Ches. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah, ma'acharin. That's the key. It's all well and good that you're being ma'acher on Shabbos morning and having a later start, but make sure you don't miss Zman Kriya Shema. So right now, the Seis on Kriya Shema, what time is Shachris here Shabbos morning? 9 o'clock. So Seis on Kriya Shema is about 9:25 or something. That's the Gan. The first one is earlier. So it's very important, at 9:20 something, you're not going to get Kriya Shema. So it's very important to say Kriya Shema before shul starts. Of Rashi mashma shigam b'Shabbos mitzvah l'mayah likres Kriya Shema kavasikin. So certainly you shouldn't miss Seisvan Kriya Shema. The Rashi in Megillah is mashma that one should also try and say Kriya Shema kavasikin, i.e., in other words, if you're makbid on vasikin, Shabbos as well, it's also a nice inyan to do if possible. Okay. Uv'chol davar hainu. Kol davar shemosifim b'shvil Shabbos v'afilu nishmas. In other words, if the Mishnah, the Ramah says na'agin laharbois uv'chol davar ein lo amru ein machazirin. If you miss certain things, if you didn't say them, you don't have to go back and repeat them. Now, there are a few interesting ha'aras. If you look at number 3, paragraph 3, on the second paragraph, what if you said mizmor l'soida by mistake on Shabbos morning? it can happen. Yeah, you just straight after, you're sort of going after, you're saying it, and then you're meant to skip. But what if you just say Mizmor Soida? So he says, we don't say Mizmor Soida, because we're not makriv a carbon toida on Shabbos and Yontif. If you've started, you should finish it. Why? Because Mizmor L'Soida only refers to the carbon at the beginning, and if you already started it, you've already said the carbon bit, so there's no harm in finishing it off. And really you're only doing it, as praise. So of course we don't say it, but if you started, then it's mutter to finish it off. 5. What if? Why do we say nishmas on Shabbos? Why is that inserted? So if you look at paragraph 5, kosav hatur sheyesh in Yitzias Mitzrayim, because you refer to Yitzias Mitzrayim lochein gam somchu l'shiras hayam. That's why we juxtapose it to the shira. V'aytam kosav halavush b'pnei haneshama yesera sheyesh l'adam Shabbos. On Shabbos we have a neshama yesera. V'haisif eli rabba al yidei neshama yesera anu masigim chochma yesera b'Shabbos. We're able to understand better on Shabbos, more chachma, etc. And therefore we say nishmas to mark the fact that we have a neshama yesera on Shabbos. Okay. So the Ramah says that if you miss out some of the additions that you say Shabbos morning, you don't have to go back. However, l'kel Shabbos you do. Machzir nosei. Ein hakavana shemachzir nosei lebrachas yotze'er. Not that you go back to yotze'er, to the brachas of Kriya Shema, before Shema, and you repeat that. Not that's not what it means. And la'achat tefillah shmona esrei yoma kach b'li bracha. You say the bracha of l'kol hashayotza, l'kol hashavas. After Shemona Esrei, just without the bracha, without the shame. Yaschem l'shevach noisnim. Masha'ein kein sha zemirosim shachach in chiyuv la'amrach tefillah. But with the other ones, you don't need to go back and say it. If you look at number 6, he says, "Kosav Orach HaShulchan shebechol mizmari Shabbos shemesifim b'Shabbos le'nizka Shabbos mefuresh." What is the svara for that? Because in all other additional mizmarim that we say on Shabbos, they don't refer specifically to Shabbos. Since it's Yom Menucha, the minhag is to say extra mizmarim. Masha'ein kein l'kel hashavas. There it does refer to Shabbos, and therefore if you miss out Lokal Shabbos, that one only Lokal Shabbos you say afterwards without Sheva Malchus, B'li Bracha. Without Bracha. Okay, carrying on the Ramah, the Mishnah Berurah, 2 lines before it gets wide. If you remember that you haven't said Lokal Shabbos before you finish off that bracha of Yotz HaMoeres, you can go back, Lokal Shabbos, to go back to there. The Prima Godim is Nisha B'Tzorchian. Kosav Achai Odom. Mikom Akum nearly Shlo Yedalik Lechatchila Hanusach Lokal Shabbos Hakol Yeduch Kelis Tzvar V'Tzibur. He says, the Orach HaShulchan says that you shouldn't skip out these things so that you can daven with the tzibur. Shari kol zen nizkar b'zoyah, because all of these tefillahs are mentioned in the Zohar. Shema minah shenusach bracha kachi. This is the nusach of the bracha, and therefore don't try and skip them out just so that you can catch up if you come late on Shabbos morning, because the Zohar mentions these brachas. Now let's quickly look at 7 and 8. Misha tzarech ledalik. What if you come late Shabbos morning? What should you skip out? So he says, Misha tzarech ledalik pesukah zimra kadei lahaspik tefillas b'tzibur kosav le'el sheyedalig ma shemoisifim b'Shabbos milvad nishmas. You can skip out the extra mizmorim on Shabbos morning apart from nishmas. V'yom pesukah zimra kamei b'yimos hachol, and therefore you can do like a weekday pesukah zimra. Ki heim tadirim, because that's todiv im yesh le'yosez man. If you've got a bit more time apart from saying nishmas, which you've got to say, then you add in the following: because they are more important. If you look at number 8, and what about kel adoin? Lo kosav Mishnah Berurah ledalig kadei lahaspik tefillah b'tzibur. Omnam b'zoya in the Zohar it says kosav kel adoin v'kein lechera ein ledalga kadei lahaspik tefillah b'tzibur. You shouldn't skip out kel adoin either, because it's also mentioned in the Zohar. Okay, ulahanim. One should say pesukah zimra slowly and pleasantly on Shabbos morning. Hainu la'amram benigun sheyesh b'ne'ima ka'ein sha'osim b'pesukah zimra avoloi laharich harbe, not to be marich too long. V'kva ifligu kadmenim b'gnus ha'masherim ha'marichim mafridim ois machaverta v'teva mechaverta. Warning against chazonim, not to overdo it. If you look at number 9, it's very interesting. He says, V'chein lichbel tevis b'tfilah. for a chazan, he shouldn't repeat words. Kosev b'shal shuv is Maram Shik. Maram Shik was a Talmud of the Chasam Sofer. He was very critical of those chazonim who repeat words. Sheyesh, he says, boch kama chashoshes. V'leis le'esel mevad ma shetiknu chazal lichbel ba'amiras halel. Certainly in halal there's a problem because you've got to stick to the nusach of halal. V'ateres Chaim shebal ha'machane Chaim goa b'chazan shekofel tevis b'kedusha. Omnom. Misha kavnosa l'shem shemayim. A guy who is chazan, who's got Yir Shemayim and is doing it as part of the tefillin, is going to inspire, then that would be okay. Yeah, sometimes they add words. The Davening got a funny thing where he's quite crazy. He's not into chazon seemingly. That those chazonim they and then they sort of repeat yashris. Yeah, it takes away from the kavanah of what it really means. Yeah, so you got it depends what the kavanah is. Sometimes the chazonim say a nice kaddish and they say v'imra and they go backwards and forwards, but then you miss the actual kahal, miss the opportunity to say amen. So and they're saying amen too early or not at all. So the chazan's got to be very aware of this. And there's a big hefsek, so you got to be aware of that thing. So it's very nice to Shabbos morning. Just to summarize, then it says the Ramah, the minhag is to start later on Shabbos morning. Why? Because the Talmud, every day it says Baboike in the morning, and it says on Shabbos, Shabbos, which is mashma, you do it a bit later. Why is that? It says the Maharin and the Bach, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to have a little bit longer sleep on Shabbos, the Yom Marich is part of the Onik Shabbos. However, the critical thing is not to miss Seisman Kriya Shema, and to make sure that you say Shema before the last time. Okay.